So, welcome back to the next episode of Tech Talk. We are joined by myself, Aaron Hoffman, with Jason Kirschenbaum, and our fourth member, finally on the pod, Mr. Ryan Mortazavi. Welcome. It has been
Welcome.
too long,
We've
and
been
I'm
waiting.
really
We've been
excited.
waiting.
We've been waiting. Boys, the Premier League.
Let's get right into it.
I've said the most amazing league in the world, I believe.
I agree.
Most
for sure.
competition, most talent, most excitement.
All
The
across
current relegation battle is absolutely insane.
Yes, it is. It's insane. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that you would not think should be in there.
What is it? It's Ryan. What'd you say? It's 5 points separating the top or the bottom 7 teams.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier, and 13th to 20th place is all separated by 5 points, which is like insane when you think about it.
We're a decent way through the season
Yeah,
too. Like
17
these games,
matches, 18 played.
like these games are starting to matter.
About halfway, yeah.
These games are really starting to matter.
Yeah. So that's where I talk about relegation. It's very surprising to see Everton and Wolves in the bottom 3, and Southampton, to be
Wolves,
fair.
I was a little surprised, but Everton were treading dangerously close last season.
Treading dangerously close, yes.
I was kind of surprised they escaped.
But Everton's always been, like Everton's been like a not a top club, but a mid club. You don't expect them to be in the relegation.
The amount of money they spend, though.
Exactly.
It's clearly spent in the wrong spot.
They're a club who wants to be battling for a top half finish.
Yes, they should be, and that's my point.
The league has gotten so competitive.
But look at their team.
I'm more surprised by West Ham in 17th place, by Everton in 18th.
I agree with that.
I mean,
but at the same time, like Everton, like Ryan said, like look at their signings. Like you're spending a lot of money and you're buying players like Dwight McNeil. That's not going to solve your issue first things foremost. But like still, like if you're spending all this money and you have all this money allocated towards your board, you should be fighting for the top half of the. You shouldn't be in the bottom.
And I'm not a Pickford fan, but you have like England's number 1 goalie.
Exactly, like
as your goalie.
Then that's what I was going to.
But a goalie
squad. You have a squad though. You have a keeper squad.
I'm biased, but a keeper can't. If you're trying to have a keeper keep you out of a relegation fight, then there is a lot else going wrong.
No, but I'm using it as the example of like they have quality.
They do have quality. They do. Like
so you're telling me you're more surprised by Everton in 18th than West Ham in 17th?
I think it's an arguable thing. For sure because look, you have like Everton signed Idrissa Gana Gueye back. He's pretty solid in the midfield. That's a good signing for them. I'm pretty sure not pretty sure. I know they have Anthony Gordon out left, and I'm not saying he's spectacular, but he's
definitely
a baller.
Gonna leave. He's definitely going to leave.
Maybe, but he's a baller.
I think he should leave.
But and then the rest of the squad's not the strongest, but like they do have quality players here and there in the squad.
I mean, West Ham, Paqueta just signed. Obviously, Declan Rice.
I think West Ham.
What's the Italian striker?
Scamacca. Yeah, he's.
I mean, they beat Leeds today, but like.
But they should.
I think that's way more shocking.
I think they ended up tying 2-2.
Did they?
Yeah.
I think draw. Last I saw was 2-1.
I know the way I look at it with Everton in the sense of like it's the same thing every year versus West Ham. I can attribute it to more of like a slump in that sense. But with Everton going to a relegation battle, spending more money, bringing more players, and then just doing the same thing over and over again by being in relegation, that's what surprises me every time.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about money, can we address Chelsea for a second?
We can, but
300 million pounds spent in the summer.
We'll get up the table.
They're currently
get up the table.
Yeah, we'll get up. the table.
Yeah, you're right, but no, you are right, and they're still trying to hey. It's a kind of off topic, not really though, but they're trying to hijack Mudryk. I wouldn't say hijack, but they're trying to
hijack Mudryk.
I hope not either, but they've always done that though. They sign players that like Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa, he's a good player, but is he really gonna fit start in the Chelsea squad ever? Probably
he's
not.
A project.
He's a project, exactly. But so is Hudson-Odoi, and they shipped him off. I'd say Hudson-Odoi is better than Chukwuemeka.
So is Tom. I bet you they regret sending Tommy Abraham away.
Absolutely,
at this current moment in time.
Okay. Back to the table, right? Back to the table. So
to the table.
I think honestly, other than that, it's a pretty solid bottom half. Most you expect. You'd expect Bournemouth. You'd expect Nottingham Forest. You'd expect. I wouldn't say you'd expect Leeds or Leicester, but at the same time, as we were going to transition into the top half of the table, there's a lot of teams that you wouldn't expect playing well that are playing phenomenal.
Leicester having a shocking year. I was very
Leicester's
surprised
been
at
on
the
the
start of the
downfall
season.
since Chesney left, or
Yeah,
Chesney. What am I
no,
talking about? Schmeichel.
Schmeichel.
Yeah.
But they really, other than him, they really didn't lose anyone.
They
The
did.
thing is,
And like
Leicester-
I would say Vardy still has a solid 15 goals a season in him.
And
they still have
Not with
That's a
Madison.
hot take. Hot take.
he's
Hot
more
take.
like a
When fit.
rotational guy now.
When fit,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
fit.
No,
He
But
can't
that's
run
the
like
thing.
a.
He's not always fit. As well as like, yeah, he had a
True.
banger year when they won the title, but
He
it was
can't run like he can.
That's
in
6
Japan.
years
He's just
ago.
there to his
Exactly.
age.
I'm not talking about the title year. Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh.
I don't know. I still think it's
Leicester starting out though was I think bottom 3 through like the first 10 games. So
Yeah, they're
they've
bottom
been
three for
playing
a
better.
while.
They've been playing better.
Yeah.
I do want to give Brentford, Brentford especially. Brentford deserves flowers for how they're playing. Being in the top 10 in the first half of the season is no one expected that, right?
Brentford are playing unreal.
Brentford are pulling out these results that like low key like really really matter, but people don't really look at it. Like I'm pretty sure they win against City.
Can I list off their last 6 games to you?
Yeah, go for it.
3-1. Well, let's start from farthest away to most recent.
Yeah.
4-0 versus United, win. 2-1 win over City. 2-0 win over West Ham. 0-0 tie with Chelsea. 2-2 tie with Tottenham, and a 3-1 win over Liverpool.
Exactly.
Those are results.
And that's what I'm saying.
Those are results of a top 6 side. Easily.
I agree.
I'm not saying I'd be happy with City to pull out those results, but a win over United, a win over Liverpool.
It's different because
a
you
win
gotta look
over
at it.
City
It's
from
a
Brentford.
small
That's
club.
crazy.
It's a small club getting results against big clubs, and that's really the main focus of the Premier League, right? If you can get those draws in the 3 points here and there, 1 out of the 2 games you play the team, then you will do pretty well, right? And that's what those clubs look at. They look for draws and stuff, but it's the Brentford coach.
Those clubs look to not get.
Coach is great.
The
Great
goal
coach.
for
I would have to get that team the most out of that team.
Yeah,
with the
he
minimum
does.
money.
Exactly.
I would have to
they don't sign a lot of
imagine
players.
at the beginning of the season, realistically, you're Brentford, you're just looking to not get relegated.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they've
sure.
and yeah, like those games against top 6 teams, like any point they can get from that is like a bonus. Like I would have to imagine that you realistically mark that off as a loss at the beginning of the season if they're just going by the sheet, by paper in the table. That's not who they're banking their season against, those games. And it's crazy that those are the games that they're 9th place.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, while we're talking about this, even more shocking, honestly, Fulham, 7th place. Who would have thought? No one.
Fulham are incredible right now.
Especially coming up from
championship, as well as like they're signing players that really aren't that quality. They signed Willian, who was shocking at Arsenal, absolutely terrible. Like
yeah, but he was
disgusting.
so good. He was really good.
Yeah, but look,
he was
great at Chelsea. He came to Arsenal, absolutely horrible. Like off the pitch, he shouldn't have gotten any minutes, and now he's coming and he's getting full 90 minutes at Fulham, and he's contributing. Actually, he is, but. You know,
I was gonna say the funny thing is when you look at a team like you guys were saying with the Fulham, the Brightons, the Brentfords, that's where Everton would want to be. That's where West Ham wants to be, all the money they're spending. But then you look at it and sometimes it's not about splashing $80 million. It's just signing the right guys that bind.
And that point right there shows that the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world, as Aaron was saying, because a number 1 team can lose to a number 20 team very, very easily, right? Now, I'm not saying in any other league that can't happen.
I wouldn't say easily. I think that's a bit of an overstatement, but
it
can always be a competitive
game. Any game can be, any game can come down to it. Regardless if it's 1 versus 2.
Everton just drew City 1-1.
And that's exactly what I mean. You on an off day or one good momentum push from the team that's not doing well, it can happen. And in a lot of different leagues like France, absolutely not, Absolutely not. Like PSG plays the 20th team. Absolutely not.
I find that so much more boring to watch. Just because of that point, you can just tell.
That's honestly
difference
a complete
in quality
conversation.
I'd
love to have.
So
we could have a complete another episode solely about how the German and French league are farmers leagues.
Yeah, well, some of recent would probably make that argument for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We could argue about, but and then the other than that, the table's pretty normal. I would say Chelsea in
Well,
10th.
can we
is,
jump
in
back for a
10th is-
second?
Yeah, Chelsea in
Yeah.
10th is shocking. I was gonna say I think Graham Potter's doing an awful job over there. First things first.
I think he just needs time, though.
Yeah, I agree because that's how
I
Graham
think
Potter
sacking
is.
Tuchel was wrong, but
I
don't
do
think
too.
it's fair to judge him. I think you got to give him through the rest of the season.
Especially what he did with Brighton. He had them look in Brighton. Look at what Brighton's doing.
Is it not?
Still?
I don't know. I think it might have been too big of a step up.
I don't think so.
I'd say
I think
too
Graham. I
big.
think Graham Potter consistently had that Brighton team very, very, very tight and compact. Always, like they never really broke down. They'd always stay middle
but
of
I
the
think
pack,
that there's
and now
a
they're starting
difference.
to break.
There's a difference between coaching Brighton and coaching
Yes,
Chelsea.
but
No disrespect to Brighton, they're a good team, but
I think what
Chelsea's a huge club.
I think what Chelsea was looking at a project, and I think firing Tuchel is also a bad idea. But they were looking for a project long term, as was Arsenal with Arteta. Right, the first couple seasons may not be that well, but eventually it's going to be worth it if you trust the manager. So
yeah,
if
but
you,
the difference
if you look,
between Chelsea,
listen.
the difference
Listen,
between
listen.
you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
saying
I'm not wrong.
the
I'm
difference
not wrong.
between
Absolutely
Chelsea,
not.
the difference
Dude,
between
dude,
Chelsea and Arsenal
let me
is
finish.
Chelsea's owners splashed the cash.
No,
Arsenal's
but
didn't, so you
dude,
knew it would take time.
here's what-
Chelsea, they spent $300 million in the
This
summer,
one
and they're in
statement
10th
that I'm going to
place.
say is absolutely like if you look
All
at
right,
what
say your
Potter, if you
statement.
look at what
Say your
Potter
statement.
did, if you look at what Graham Potter did with Brighton, they were absolutely stinker when they joined the Prem. It's terrible, not good at all. Bottom 3 team in the relegation zone, fighting for it. 3 years later, the project that Potter's done, he's made a lot of very, very good signings over there at Brighton that no one has known about. And then you look at their team and they score, and you're like, yo, who's this, right? And then now they're fighting for top half of the table. Eventually, it's a project. Go ahead.
And when you look at Potter, you have to look at where he's been. I remember he was, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Oosterson or the Belgian team that he was with.
Yeah, he was in Belgium.
Yeah.
And 6, 7, 8 years there, brought them up to the 3rd division or something like that, I think.
Yeah,
that shows what giving a guy time can do.
Right.
I'm not saying he's a bad manager.
No,
I'm just saying Chelsea have the
make
financial backing, though, of a top 4 team at this moment in terms of the money they spent in the summer, the players they brought in. It doesn't matter if the manager
sometimes it goes to the board and the sporting director.
I don't think there's
Yes.
any excuse for
It's
Chelsea being in 10th place
I'm not
after
saying that's
splashing
an excuse.
$300 million.
No, I'm not saying that's an excuse, but sometimes you can't go to the coach and you have to go directly to the board and the sporting director because you're signing players like Romelu Lukaku for $100 million.
I'm not talking about Romelu
At the end of the
Lukaku
day,
this summer.
But it's players like that.
I'm talking about players like Aubameyang who were useless to Chelsea's bottom line.
We're right. I guess we're on the same page here. Like we're both talking how Chelsea is not spending money well. But I'm just saying, you can't blame a coach at that point because that was the directors. Like those are the sport. That's like
look. 1-1 to Nottingham Forest. Not 1-1
is seeing eye to eye between coach and ownership.
As Arsenal fans, if you tied 1-1 to Nottingham Forest, would you be happy?
Of course not.
Given how we're going now, no.
And Chelsea,
if you knew we'd be in 10th place, it'd be a little different.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, look, Aaron, you're talking to two fans who have not actually enjoyed Premier League football for probably 5-6 years.
Right?
But I think a little bit more results.
If you're a fan of any club in the top half of the table, you would be disappointed with a draw against a newly promoted side. You would want and almost expect to win that game, and you would be disappointed with any other result.
And off games are always going to happen where they pull that.
No matter what.
Of course,
but
Chelsea, you don't get to 10 from one off game.
I wouldn't be surprised when Chelsea plays City in the next few games or whatnot.
Chelsea plays City tomorrow, so we're going to see.
I would not be surprised if they pull off an upset then.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked.
All right, so, now let's go more far up the table, right? Because we have our Liverpool, they're climbing their way back up a little bit. I wouldn't say they're climbing back up, but they're somewhat in the mix, right? Liverpool United.
I'm not making top 4.
I agree. Liverpool United,
I still think they can make top 4.
They Liverpool United, Liverpool Tottenham United. My fault. There's that order. I think that's
Tottenham had an interesting
solid
win today. They really needed that. They really needed that.
But
win.
then after that, this top 3. I'm liking this top 3 race right now, right? So First of
I'm
all,
sure
we've
you
talked
are.
about it a little bit. Newcastle in third, that's unbelievable. That's something like
Yeah.
I think we could and should go into a whole episode about Newcastle because the project.
Can I
that
ask
they're
one
doing is
question?
crazy.
One question on that. And I was talking to someone else about this, and they kind of convinced me of it. They were saying that, as we know right now, like the Prem has the big six, right? Arsenal, City, United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea. They believe that is going to transition into like a top seven, and that Newcastle are going to, for the foreseeable future, become a staple in that upper side of the table. Do
I
you
would
see
just
that
say
happening?
my thing is, one, let's just ride out the year and see where they actually
Yeah,
finish.
I think it depends
Well,
on the result.
But
and
also,
outcome.
this is still so early in their sporting project. Like,
No, I know, but I think Newcastle getting top 6, top 7, regardless, is a success, no matter what.
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
agree,
yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm just
I
saying
would
if
say
you see
ride out
the
year.
league transitioning into that top kind of
No,
stuff.
I know, and then they also have the money being backed, I think, from the Saudi group that they have coming in.
Yeah.
So obviously you can make that argument, but it's one of those just you have to have a waiting game to actually see everything happen.
Yeah, it's
unfold.
all on the outcome.
It happens pretty quick though. That's
Also,
the
the top
crazy
6
thing.
is also just more based off like legacy and history in the sense of like
yeah,
the staple. And I don't know if you can really throw them in to like the top 7 in that sense.
They have pretty good history.
I know, but like when you think of the top 6, you think of like
That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
don't-
saying that someone was arguing that Newcastle it could be like a new top 6 player, making I guess an overall top 7, and that I don't know. I guess I could see that because then that
splash 300 million with the Saudis, you could definitely say that. Yeah,
it would also make the conference league more competitive for sure. Because then there would still be a big team completely missing out on Europe, which would be interesting.
Well, look, okay, so yeah, we should have a Newcastle episode for sure because
Okay.
but City second, you'd see that happening. That's fine.
I still think they're in the running. Although
Yeah,
Arsenal,
I do.
Arsenal are very
I saw a
concerning.
Pep Guardiola video today of him actually saying they damn near need to play perfect for them to catch up, which actually I don't
Very
agree
true.
with. I mean, it's true. Like that's not that I don't agree. Like that's an obvious answer, but it's really it's the pressure's on Arsenal more than.
Well,
it's
we're
on
sat
City.
one game behind an 8.
Well, that's what I'm
points
saying. The
That's
pressure's
also
on.
an experienced manager, so he's gonna say the right things at the right time. Just to, like,
Yeah.
stay within the
I think
so,
Arsenal has a little bit of a
Well, let's
a
go into it. Let's go into Arsenal because Arsenal is having a season that no one would expected, and a lot of people can't stand up and say, hey, like I was wrong, right? Because there's a lot of people and haters, Arsenal haters, who have been trashing Arsenal and trashing the way they play and trashing the team. But if you actually look at Arsenal, and I've already backed this before, said look at the project Arteta's doing. You've signed players in Martinelli for piss cheap, less than 10 million at the age of 19. You have Saka, brilliant. Your wingers are great. You signed Gabriel Jesus, top striker in the Prem. He's won multiple championship, like Premier Leagues with City, played in the Champions League. He has all the experience. He knows that mentality, as well as Zinchenko. You bring over.
Can I say just a quick note on the Gabriel Jesus thing? He scored 4 goals.
But
he's had unreal impact. Hold on.
But let me
finish. Hold on.
But you
he's
gotta
had the assists.
I'm not saying
and
he's
just the way that Arsenal plays. If you compare this year from last year, we had Lacazette, dude. Like it's just,
as I'm saying, he has great impact. Are you, as an Arsenal fan, or fans, because both of you are you both completely happy with his output?
I'm more than happy with his output.
Okay,
I think
my point was when you look at a striker, it's more than scoring goals.
It is.
One. Every striker is different stylistically in terms of play and seeing what they need to deliver for their team. Jesus is more than just goals, and which is what we don't need. He does the assists, he does the work rate, he's good at link-up play. He can drift out wide, become like more of an inverted or outside winger, which allows more space for Martinelli or Saka to float in and do their own thing. Just system-wise, he's perfect for what the team needs.
I was not dogging on him. I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed him at City. I was simply asking if you two were happy with him.
Yes, we are. But what I'm saying is, I agree. Like, I think what Jesus does, yeah, like it's beyond like he has a good amount of assists, and yes, he tore his knee up. He's going to be back soon, but you can even tell the way
Couple months is not
no,
soon
you can
in the
either
Prem.
you can even tell the way Arsenal's playing right now. They're playing great, but there's not playing as well as they would be with Jesus in the lineup. Now, like Nketiah's okay. He's all right. Like
I think he's playing well.
he is.
There's
But
a reason why he's
back to what I was
back
saying, right?
there.
Back to
No,
what I was
just
saying
okay.
to the
Yeah,
project, to Arteta. Like what Arsenal has done is really it's so underrated. Like in the past, literally my whole life, Ryan as well. Arsenal has been not. I think the closest they've got to winning was maybe second when Leicester won, but I think they got third that year. I think Tottenham got second.
Yeah,
So
Tottenham was second.
so it was third place, and after that it was just downhill. We had Skodran Mustafi and David Luiz as our center backs. We had Nacho Monreal as our left back. It was an awful team. We had Francis Coquelin playing our center defensive mid. You know, it was absolutely embarrassing to watch the team. We'd go out and we'd lose 3-0 to Southampton, right? And it was very stressful. But you see what they've done
Don't
now.
forget for Mertesacker either.
Mertesacker. And then we had the Unai Emery phase, who just clearly didn't fit. Team wasn't good. Signing players like Lucas Vasquez.
Emery was just bad.
Yeah, just
hire at
bad
the back.
timing. Yeah, bad timing, bad
Not that
timing.
he's
Was
bad.
Vasquez
Good
was he
coach, not
that
at
bad
the
of a
time.
signing? Like
Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't think he was a good signing. Besides the fact, look at it now. Like you compare the squads and like the names, players, depth, all of that, age. We went from an old team with like not much quality to one of the youngest teams in the Prem to like one of the top qualities from goalie all the way down. We signed Ramsdale, Saliba. We brought in he won the best youngster in that French league last year.
in the
He's
French league, yeah.
made the France national team. He's only 20, 21. You pair him up with Gabriel, Ben White, Zinchenko, and Tierney. You have Tomiyasu. You're getting real depth in the squad. We need to sign a couple more players, obviously, but Partey and Xhaka in the middle. Like Partey's a very class midfielder. He is. He played very well on Atletico. He started a real rough patch here in the Prem, but he's
Finally,
been playing.
injuries aren't affecting him, obviously.
Yeah, he's been playing unreal. But that Arsenal squad and what Arteta's doing is great because you look at the team and it's nothing spectacular. It's not a City, it's not a Liverpool, it's not a United team. It's not. Just the way they play tactically makes them great.
And I will say, going off of that, because being an Arsenal fan, the way they buy and sign players is they're all signing similar guys who buy into the system that are in that 20 to 25-year age gap.
Yeah.
So they're up and coming / proven in a sense. And you mash that with a young, energetic manager who also wants to prove
passion. Arteta's just passion.
Exactly. So when you combine that, all these young guys you have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
And when you group that, I guess, mentality with the age combined, all these guys, it's going to allow them to grow together. And once they all hit their primes in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I think that's
unstoppable.
And I don't think Arsenal plan to win the league now.
No, exactly. No, they're
this
planning.
Is perfect.
Yeah, they're planning to be a consistent team like City for the next.
They want to build like a core,
you know, exactly,
and then build from that. Core.
And you look at it, and that's exactly what they're doing, right? They have Jesus up top, who's
25.
25, 26. Martinelli, youngster, 21, 22. Saka, same. I think he's 21. Odegaard, 23.
Oh, don't forget about him, 22.
Yeah, Smith Rowe. We signed Fabio Vieira.
Can I ask about Smith Rowe? You should sell him, in my opinion.
No. Smith Rowe's if we sign,
dude, where do you? But you're not benching anyone at the moment. No way he wants to go and just sit on the
middle too. When healthy, he can replace Odegaard. And
do you think he's down to be a squad player? Because before he got hurt,
well, where else?
All or nothing highlighted kind of his really great link up play with Saka, and he was an integral part of that squad last year.
But where do you see Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe's not playing at a bigger club than Arsenal.
But maybe he goes and starts somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe on a Fulham.
I think they're wasting.
Smith Rowe he's an academy player, one, and he's a proven academy player. So Arsenal likes the idea of keeping the kid in house. Two, they also need their English players. Smith Rowe's one of them to meet the quota for the squad.
Yeah,
but I think he's got to understand, and the team does too. Like, as Arsenal wants to get Champions League, plays more games, you're going to need quality rotation.
You're going to, exactly.
Smith Rowe can play on the left, on the right, or up through the middle.
And he will be getting
the number 10
games
for a reason, which shows they believe in the kid.
Yeah.
And given the chance, he's always delivered.
Well, we gave the number 10 to Grealish. I
Okay.
love Grealish.
But there's the
But
point.
that could have
Grealish
been a
still,
mistake.
Also, the
Grealish
number
still-
10 between Arsenal and City is a little about the
Is
same.
it? I think the number 10 at any big club nowadays carries a similar weight. I kind of have to say.
I don't know, I think Arsenal put the belief in the kid, and he fits the mold and the age group.
I don't know. I just don't see like Smith Rowe staying and necessarily wanting to be a squad player just based on the hype that was around him.
So I disagree. I disagree,
It would have
Aaron.
been perfect to come on.
Yeah,
In the last game against Newcastle.
and that's what I'm saying. I completely, Aaron, I'm on the absolute opposite side of you here, man.
I mean, I don't watch Arsenal week in week out like you
So
do.
we'll hear.
I watch quite a bit, but
as Ryan was saying, we're in a position to where even if we don't win the Prem, we're gonna hopefully make top 4. Which even if we don't make
you'll
top
definitely. I think I saw you were like 97%.
definitely. Trust me, dude. We're talking about Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan,
percentages, but
you can never.
percentages top 4. I don't care about winning the league.
Percentages, but also
Okay, I just top 4. I just want
the
Champions League. Premier
the rest
League
of
is
the
great.
the rest
I
of the
would
teams
go
in the
insane.
Prem are not at their top quality.
But
You're
as I was saying, like
quality
Ryan was
right
saying,
now.
once you get those Champions League matches, you're going to be playing twice a week, and FA Cups, Carabao Cups. You're going to be playing all these games. Smith Rowe will get minutes. He won't get minutes in, game out in the Prem. He will get minutes in the Champions League, and he will get minutes in the FA Cup games. And if he doesn't like that, then yeah, I'm sure he'll try to leave. But I don't see him going to
I
a
don't
team
think he
that's-
leaves.
Yeah, I don't think he leaves either.
System, and on a
And he
side
grew up
thing,
there. He grew up there.
Exactly.
You know, like that's his
He's like
hometown.
graduate,
He's
like,
a homegrown.
they're gonna want to keep that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Arsenal loves the academy. But
Yes, but sometimes that's not. I'm sure Chelsea wanted to keep Mount Abraham and Tamori together, but
Chelsea's run a little
that's
different.
not how that
Chelsea's
works.
academy is run a little. Yeah, Chelsea's academy is different.
As a side note, like he was saying, when we play more games twice a week, and injuries will become more prevalent, I would feel much more comfortable either having Smith Rowe getting more game time, or in the sense of if we need to take off Saka, Martinelli, or whoever's starting,
And that's
great if Smith Rowe's the option.
and on top of it too, like the depth is getting there as well for Arsenal because we signed this 18-year-old Marquinhos, and that kid's a baller. That kid is a baller. They signed him for like $2 million from some Brazilian club.
You're trying to loan Joao Felix too.
Yeah, and well, look, that's the thing. That's what we're talking about. If we can get Joao Felix, Mudryk, either or, both would be unreal. Great, right? I think we'd win the Premier League for sure. Like that's a guarantee. I think I could put money on it. Now,
So to clarify, you're saying you think Mudryk, if you
Yes.
get him,
and Joao Felix,
a player who plays.
I think Mudryk is quality. Like I think
I'm not saying he's not
He
great.
lit up Madrid in the Champions League.
Yeah, like
He's
literally.
so good. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think that right there is Premier League sealed and boxed.
No, I think bringing in depth with Mudryk and Joao Felix. Now you have
Who do you
unstopped-
bench?
you don't bench anyone. You bring them on,
That's
especially into a new club.
Who do you
Joao-
start?
I
Or
think
you're not gonna. You can't sit Saka
Well, one
or
injury is
Martinelli.
more prevalent, and it will allow Arsenal to rotate if they want
it
to put more
will.
focus
It
on
will.
rotating
It'll
against
like sometimes it's good to have players that some like Arsenal could be more than fine starting Mudryk and Felix with Odegaard and Nketiah if Saka and Martinelli need a rest, and I think we would play as well.
or they come off the bench.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
City fan. What's
And
made
we
good?
can
Having
hopefully
full squad players.
sell Nicolas Pepe, or unless he tears it up for the rest of the year and we bring him back because we did pay 80 mil for him. But I think
Where is
I think that
he? Is
project's
he just
over.
riding the bench? Or
No, he's at Nice right now. He's back at Nice on
Oh.
loan. But
So is
Ross Barkley.
no. Although he scored a screamer over the weekend.
you're talking about. I think you're thinking of Nuno Tavares, who's on loan to
He's on loan too.
Marseille.
And then so is Coquelin. Or no,
No, Coquelin's gone.
with
He's on
Guendouzi.
Villarreal.
Guendouzi's
Guendouzi's gone as well.
Is he loan or is he
No,
sold?
they sold him. Guendouzi had trouble with
he's
Arsenal.
playing. He had troubles, but he's playing
He's
well.
good. He had but he just didn't. They had issues. Like
Yeah,
It's good for him to be at a good French club.
It
That'll
is,
be
it
a good
is.
stepping stone at his age for him to grow. And
now,
go.
Tavares, I'm excited for. I think he can grow. I think he can really grow.
No way. You're not going to take him back over Zinchenko.
No, but you can convert Tavares to a left winger very easily as a rotational player.
Great, and then sit Saka or
but
sit
no-
Mudryk.
Dude, but Tavares is not a player you want to start. We've seen that. Like we're the Arsenal, the
But
starting
these
lineup
players want
like
to start.
you're
Like,
And
we
the thing
talked
is
about it
this,
before. You're talking
you're a
about
City
depth
fan.
for City. Exactly. I was just about to say. He talks about
What
depth
makes
for
you guys
City,
so good? You can literally have 2, 3 guys come on and play any position at any moment,
and you can
which
start
makes
different
us
squads.
so
You can
successful.
start different squads.
the way I see Nuno Tavares is very similar to Emerson Royale in terms of I don't think he's great.
I don't
He's
think
I think
I
Nuno
wouldn't be
Tavares has
sarcastic, though, to be
potential.
fair.
Nuno
He has
Tavares has
potential.
potential.
Emerson Royale is also very young, and I guess could have potential too. But
No, but
I
if
see
you
them
look at
one
what
and the same in
Tavares has
terms of
gone to Marseille and performed. Like not clearly,
He
there's a
didn't
big
play
gap
time.
between the Prem and the French league, obviously. But he's
Yeah.
scoring a lot of goals and he's playing a lot of wing. He's playing wing back. He's getting better at defense, I would hope, because his defense was atrocious. Like that was the main reason he couldn't play defense.
yeah.
You've seen in the Liverpool
But
game.
he's in a system that plays to his strengths, and he's getting actual play
Yeah,
time.
he
And
is.
at his age, that's what he needs.
How old is he now? 20?
Very
21.
young. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
young.
he's pretty young. He's pretty young.
It's the thing. So I think what Arsenal needs to do is find some
Good.
youngsters that play in the middle, in the like center defensive mid area, because
I
in
think
in
he'll
here
fix-
here in like 2-3 years, Xhaka will be having to go. Xhaka's been playing great though. Xhaka and Partey's it's a great midfield duo.
Xhaka's done a little 180 on his career.
He has. He was
and
down.
his attitude.
Well, so is
It seems
Arsenal.
it's-
That Xhaka
it
represents
seems-
Arsenal. What Xhaka did is Arsenal.
Nah,
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
think so.
When
He's
Xhaka
been through our worst.
He's been there
actually
through our
has
worst.
a
He
strong
he
mentality.
tore his captain's armband off of his hand, took his shirt off, threw the captain's armband on the floor, flipped the fans off, basically, telling them
Yeah,
to
he's
go
a
get
hothead.
out of
He's
And
calmed
then,
it down. quite a bit.
no, but then look, that happens, and he still sticks with the club. He trusted the process. He still had a talk with the manager.
I'd
and
say
now
the
he's
club
turned
the club stuck with him.
I
He
think
could
it's-
have easily forced his way out.
He
too,
could have
to be fair.
forced his way out easily.
Yeah,
Xhaka, he
like
could
an
have. He's been there
Aubameyang
for a
He's been
while.
through our worst, and he's shown his loyalty from his
No,
end.
Jacques. I think Jacques is great. He used to be terrible. He used to be terrible. Attitude, red cards all the time. He's completely turned
Yeah.
his career around.
I guess
And when
so.
Odegaard's not being captain or advising guys, Jacques is the one who's pulling
Yeah,
the strings.
Jacques is the one that's pulling the strings.
Yeah,
Very true.
he's a good veteran to have that, displayed that strong mentality for them.
Well, we'll do a whole episode
Yeah,
kind of covering in our predictions of the Prem, but
yeah, for
in our
sure.
last minute, as we sign off from today's episode, does Arsenal win the Prem? Yes or no?
Yes.
Just one word answer. Ryan?
Man,
One word.
yes, why not? I'll go for it.
Yes, why not?
I'm saying no.
I
Thank you
still
for
think
tuning in for today's Tech Talk.